And currently, the New York Football Giants hold the number 6 overall pick. But there have been rumors floating around with the New York Giants. Are they going to move up? Are they going to move down? Are they going to draft a quarterback? Are they going to draft a receiver? What are the Giants going to do? Every mock draft that I have seen out there that is legit, I guess you can say, the experts have the Giants moving up in the draft and drafting a quarterback. So we got to ask this question. If and then, if the Giants move up in the draft and draft a quarterback, then what? Then what? Guys, let's look at the New York Football Giants. Let's flash back to this time last season. Saquon Barkley was franchise tagged. Daniel Jones, they decided to sign him for a 4-year, $160 million deal. $160 million deal. 1 year later, an injury-shortened season like, Daniel Jones may not be our guy. Guys, the problem here is the Giants have more issues than the quarterback realm. I think Daniel Jones kind of gets a bad rap myself, but I think there is more to it than just drafting a quarterback. When you look at the Giants' offense as a whole, let's look at their whole. They need to address a hell of a lot more than the quarterback. The quarterback's not a pressing need. What is a pressing need? Wide receiver. Wide receiver is a huge open spot for the New York Football Giants. Their number one receiver right now, listed per ESPN.com, NFL.com, and all the APIs out there, have Wendell Robinson, currently their number one receiver. Wendell Robinson is from the University of Kentucky. I got to see him play a lot. Actually went to a few games and watched him in person. Wendell Robinson is not a number one receiver. Hate to say it, he's not a number one receiver. He did have a 500-yard year last year. Has like around 800 yards on his 2-year career. But he can't find the end zone. He has problem dropping the damn ball. He's not a number one guy. Then we look at the running back room. Let Saquon Barkley walk away. Didn't try to franchise tag him. Didn't try to give him a worthwhile deal. Let him walk away. Now, they did pick up Devin Singletary from the Buffalo Bills this offseason. He has had 4 semi-productive years in Buffalo, averaging around 800 yards a season. But those kind of numbers are not going to cut it in New York. Let's just be honest. With your number one receiver as Wendell Robinson, you better be putting out 1,500 yards on the ground. I don't think Devin Singletary is that guy. Then we look at the offensive line. Historically bad offensive line. Last season per PFF.com, that's Pro Football Reference for you people out there, they ranked 30th in old line rankings behind the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets. But with that being said, they had a 46% pass block win rate, meaning around 60% of the times the line would blow their block and their quarterback would get pressured, sacked, whatever. The line freaking sucked. Oh, let's take it one step further. You guys want to go further? Let's go further. Tight end situation. Darren Waller. Jim Powell, John, you guys know very well about Darren Waller. Darren Waller doesn't even know if he's playing in 2024. We don't know. The team doesn't know. Hell, does he even know? The New York Football Giants have so many freaking holes on their team. Drafting a quarterback 6th overall should be least of their priorities. So when I ask the question, the if and then statement of the day, if the New York Giants move up and draft a quarterback, then what? Then they are making the worst draft trade slash pick in the team's history. If the New York Giants move up in this year's draft to draft a quarterback, they're doing their team a disservice. They're doing their coaching staff a disservice. They're using 4 years, $160 million deal for Daniel Jones a disservice. If the Giants, Brian Daboll, whoever the owner is and general manager, if they decide to move up and draft a quarterback, hell, if they draft a quarterback at 6th overall, they are wrong. Wrong. Get a receiver, get an offensive lineman, get a tight end, get a running back, get anybody but a quarterback. The Giants can improve their team by drafting anybody but a freaking quarterback tonight. It is what it is. Facts. Ant's got a question for us. Sorry, guys, I'm coughing the storm up. I was being a rap artist before the show. Ant says, what players do y'all see getting traded tonight? There are players out there like T. Higgins, that's wants out. Trey Henderson from the Bengals wants out. There are many plausible pieces that could possibly happen. I think this year's draft has the potential to have the most moves on draft night. But I don't think any players get traded tonight. Now, there might be a potential where we see in like the NBA, right, with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant got drafted by the Hornets but was traded to the Lakers like the very next pick or something crazy. I could potentially see that. I could see, let's say, the Cardinals, for some reason, draft a quarterback sitting at fourth overall. Let's say they draft a quarterback. The Giants be like, hey, we like Bo Nix. Send him over to the Big Apple. Put him on the first flight to New York. We'll give you a first-round pick. And then we'll give you like a second-round pick. I can see something like that happen. But I don't think any players get traded. Jim says nobody cares. It's the Giants. This one might be true. This one legitimately might be true. Nobody cares about the Giants. And then Ant says the Giants will suck. They need a running back, O-line, receiver, defensive line help, cornerback, safety, linebacker, new coaching staff. The Giants need to fill every spot pretty much but quarterback. And that's what James says. Giants need everything. Everything. They'll be stuck. They will be stuck in the NFC East basement for a foreseeable future. And you know what's sad about this? In 2022, the Giants were in the playoffs. Legit, look it up. In 2022, the Giants were in the playoffs. I actually believe they won their first round game. Was it the first round game that they won? Let me look it up to confirm that. But I thought they won a playoff game that year. It had to have been against the Saints or something. But then they go into the divisional round and they get beat down by the Eagles, which ultimately end up going to the Super Bowl. But let me pull up the 2022 season, right? Come on. So, they beat the Vikings in the wild card round. They went to Minnesota and beat the Vikings 31-24 with a 9-7-1 record that they had this season. And then they went to Philadelphia the following week and got beat down. This was 2 years ago, 2022. And now all of a sudden, 5-12. We're talking like they're going to be the basement of the NFC East for the foreseeable future. All because the Giants organization sucks. They messed up by not keeping Saquon Barkley. Let's just be flat and honest about that. Let's address the elephant in the room. The Eagles made a mistake by letting Saquon Barkley walk from the team, walk across the state lines, into Pennsylvania, into Philadelphia. Made a mistake. That was strike number one. Actually, that was strike three. Strike number one was not even negotiating him in fairness and trying to actually get him a deal. It's like $9 million they were offering us, something crazy like that. He's a heart and soul of your team. You're like, oh, here's some pocket change. We know you want to stay here. And then they signed Daniel Jones, 4 years, $106 million deal, and injury shortened season last year, and they already want to kick him out of town. Let's go back to this Ant question here. Let me scroll up to it. Do we see any players getting signed or traded? It would not surprise me one bit here if